Hey guys, Seth with Summit Fishing. Today we're going to do a short video on assembling your shuttle docking system. So when you get your docking system in the mail, it's going to come in a box like this. Inside you're going to have two bags of hardware. This bag right here of hardware will be used to attach the brackets to the side of your shuttle. You want to use these 4 screws and not the 4 screws on the inside of this bag, just because these have Loctite and will ensure that your shuttle is not going to come loose. So you have both bags of hardware and your docking system. So the first step of putting this all together is if you have the older version of our shuttle, you're going to have to drill the holes for the bracket. So we're going to have to mark those. So all you do is you take the bracket out of the bag, you go ahead and get right behind the screw on the shuttle, on the top of the shuttle, the front screw that faces, that's closest to the faceplate. You set the bracket right behind it, and you just kind of hold it there and just mark each hole. And you probably can't see it, but if you do, that's exactly where it's going to be. You do the same thing on the other side. You just set the bracket behind that front screw that is closest to the faceplate. Mark each hole, and now you know where to place the brackets, where to drill the holes. So, the next step after you get those brackets marked, you're going to have to take the faceplate off and either side. Faceplate is just 4 screws. You pop them out. Now you're going to have to remove each side plate, which is 4 screws on either side. You have 2 up top. Well, 4 up top total, but on the other side you have 2 up top and 2 on the side. So you can pop that first plate out like so. Fits in there pretty good, so it takes a little bit of effort. So you're going to take a 1/4 inch drill bit. You're going to line it up with your holes. You're going to drill through. So once you get those 4 holes drilled, you're going to take the 4 T-nuts out of the bag. You're going to have to pound these into the back side of each part of the shuttle, and with using a hammer. Before you do that, make sure that you are doing it on the back side. So I would just stick it, at least kind of line it back up, so you get an idea. That way you don't accidentally pound these into the front side, because it'd be a hassle to get them back out. So now that we know this is the front side, flip it over, take each T-nut, stick it into the hole, and then you're just going to pound each one in so that the spikes are all the way down, like that. And as you can see, spikes are buried into the plastic, and it's flushed there. So you're going to do that on both of these. Let's get it lined up. T-nuts in on the back side. We're just simply going to put the sides back on the shuttle, just like that. And we'll go ahead and put the screws in on the sides. So now that you have your sides back on the shuttle, we are going to take our auxiliary bag of hardware. These are the screws for the brackets on the side of the hardware that we put in extra of because these have Loctite on it. That way, once you get this bracket on, it's not going to come out. So, as we said earlier in the video, use these 4 screws to put your bracket on, and not the 4 screws that are in the main hardware bag. So, we're going to take the screws out and just line the bracket up, stick the screw in. So now we're looking at our new aluminum docking system here. The 2 other pieces in your hardware bag are going to be these 2 bolts and the nuts. So if we look over at this one that we already have put together, we just have to attach this bolt and nut so that it latches to the docking system. So it's very simple. As you'll see here, you just have to take your bolt and then, let's see here, screw it into the center portion of it. For reference, do maybe like 1/4 of an inch. You're just gonna have to kind of adjust it. It helps like once you get both sides on, just to test it out before you put the locking nut on. So we're gonna screw that side. We're going to screw on this side. And we're going to take our shuttle that has the brackets, set it on the docking system, and we're going to just kind of eye it here. That seems pretty loose. There's no, it's not grabbing, so we're just simply gonna take it, give it a couple more turns, test it again. Still fairly loose, so we're gonna go a bit further. So now I went too far, too tight. We're gonna come out. Just like that. It's kind of a perfect fit there. You want it to have some tension. You don't want to crank it down. You don't want to have to push too hard that you're gonna bend the bracket, but you don't want it to be too loose that your shuttle moves around in the docking system. So finding that nice, just perfect fit there where it's get a little effort to close it, but not too much. You're gonna do the same thing on this side, just to make sure you have it lined up right. So now that you have it all lined up, you're going to take your locking nut, and this is just to prevent this from screwing any further, so that it becomes loose or too tight. So you're just going to take a ratchet here. We're using a 10mm. You just want to tighten it down. That way this does not move. You can latch it down. So perfect. Not too tight, not too loose. We're going to do the same thing over here. where we loosen. Take your bolt, your lock nut, I mean, and you just stick it on the end and tighten it down with the 10mm socket. So, now that you have both your bolt in and your lock nut tightened all the way down, your docking system is now attached to your shuttle. It is very easy. You just pop this up if you want to take your shuttle off. You can leave these brackets on because your mount, your fish finder mount will still fit. So you don't have to take these off once you have them on. And you just pop it into place, clamp it down. Well, this concludes our video on attaching our new Summit docking system to our shuttles. It's fairly simple. If you have any questions, please reach out. And thanks for all the support.